The 2022 Sundance Film Festival recently came to a close, and I got the chance to see a lot of great films there, and some not so good ones as well. In total, though, I saw around 30 or so movies. I think that's a pretty fair sample size to make a list like this, but of course I may miss a few that I just didn't get the chance to see. Without wasting any more time though, here are 10 films from this year's Sundance that I think you should look out for. Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut, When You Finish Saving the World, is a neurotic, awkward dramedy in which Eisenberg's stamp on it is blatantly apparent. Every second of this thing is imbued with a relentless sense of uncomfortability that will have you dying inside. The film is a little rough around the edges though, as Eisenberg pushes a lot of ideas into this tight runtime, and that can make things feel a bit jumbled every now and again, but I still found its commentary on narcissism in the digital age and the fraught disconnects between parents and their children to be utterly fascinating. Julianne Moore and Finn Wolfhard are absolutely wonderful here. They craft a mother-son dynamic that is authentic yet excruciatingly uncomfortable to watch. I think some will grow to love this film's intentional insufferability and unlikable characters, but others are definitely going to find this one quite irritating. It'll be interesting to see the reactions this one gets once it receives a wide release. I'm sure there'll be many heated discussions. Every Day in Kamiki is one of those films I know many people won't find interesting, but it's something that perfectly fits my artistic sensibilities, as it's this beautifully understated film about the mundanity of life. Observing a 20-something that doesn't feel at home anywhere as he meanders through life without one true destination or goal. The film is pure vibes from beginning to end, with beautiful skating scenes, a soothing soundtrack, and stunning landscapes. But beyond that, there's an emotional truth to nearly every moment that, even when you get taken out by the film's awkward acting, you continue to empathize with each and every moment. I think people that love Crystal Moselle's work, like Skate Kitchen or Betty, or other vibes-only films, will really take to this, even with all of its pretty apparent flaws. Again, it won't be for everyone, but I think people should still give it a shot. Resurrection is a delightfully twisted horror thriller that looks at motherhood in highly subversive ways. It tells the story of a woman quickly losing grip when a man from her past suddenly reappears. At the center of the film is Rebecca Hall, who is absolutely extraordinary, delivering a career-best performance that somehow tops her work in Christine. She captures this woman's incessant fear with utter precision, without ever delving into something too over the top. Even when the film grows increasingly far-fetched in the best ways imaginable, she remains grounded in her rage and sadness, allowing the audience to truly empathize with her devastating plight. In particular, there's a lengthy, unbroken monologue in the film that could have felt overly expository, but Hall plays it with this ferocity that is just so captivating to watch. It's a performance that I think will remind people of Isabella Gianni in Possession, and she will absolutely stun you here. Resurrection is going to divide audiences for sure, but it's also going to spark some very interesting debates. I do hope, though, that everyone walks in completely blind to this one, because the less you know, the wilder experience you will surely have. Margaret Brown's searing doc, Descendant, is a deeply nuanced and emotional exploration of descendants from the last known slave ship, the Clotilda. The film showcases the power of community, the importance of fighting for environmental and social justice, and seizing your story from those who want to profit from it. With these many fascinating ideas, Brown shows that she's not just making a film about the Clotilda, but that her focus is on this passionate community whose stories deserve to be told. I can't say that the film is particularly formally inventive in any way, but I think it didn't have to be, because the topic at its center is so engrossing and profound that a flashy style would only detract from the film's strong emotional core. Overall though, Brown has made a really powerful film here, and I'm hoping that since Netflix picked this one up, they can bring a lot of eyes to it, because it deserves to be seen by so many. A Love Song is a lovely and unassuming little film about valuing our time with those we love most. It charmed me with its gentle, patient style, and warmed my heart to no end. Going into it, I wasn't expecting much, but the film was immensely more tender and emotionally resonant than I ever expected it to be. As director, Max Walker Silverman utilizes the warmth that Dale Dickey and Wes Studi exude to craft this tale of longing and regret amongst the stunning landscapes of Colorado. For the entirety of the film's light 81-minute runtime, we are treated with an unabashedly sweet, quaint Americana tale that observes the beauty of human connection. It's one of those films that acts as a warm comfort blanket of a film, and will especially warm your heart in these uncertain and confusing times. After Audrey Devon's Happening received so much acclaim at last year's Venice Film Festival, I was incredibly intrigued to see what this one had to offer, and after seeing it, I was completely floored. This is utterly fearless filmmaking from beginning to end that is unafraid to tackle its tough subject matter head-on, and from an unflinching, objective point of view. The film looks at 1960s France and the repressive laws that were placed upon women at that time. Devon tackles this topic with so much restraint and true honesty, ensuring that the film never feels didactic in any way. Instead, she seeks to narrow in on the physical and mental toll that these abortion laws had on women. And the film is only elevated by the brilliant performance from Anna Maria Vartolomei, who portrays a scared and frustrated young woman with sheer vulnerability and authenticity. You can see every bit of fear and devastation in her eyes, and it's simply astounding to watch her. Just the unwavering truthfulness of every single moment, and Devon's assured directorial hand make this something truly special, and I'm intrigued to see what conversations this one can spark. Sarah Dosa's Fire of Love was easily the best documentary I saw at this year's festival. It tells the story of Katja and Maurice Kraft, a married couple who were both volcanologists. The film is this charming but riveting portrait of love and passion that takes a really refreshing approach to its material, with Dosa not simply throwing a bunch of talking heads onto the screen to monotonously explain their life story, but by compiling beautiful archival footage that the Krafts shot themselves. And with that, it becomes this seamless blend of a charming love story between two eccentric individuals, while also being an informative and incredibly fascinating volcanologist documentary. Dosa also cleverly incorporates jaw-dropping volcano montages and other playful little moments that really separate this from the crowd of contemporary nature documentaries. I also love the choice to get Miranda July to narrate the film, as she really helps to immerse you into the film's dreamy, calming aesthetic. I think some will be disappointed that the film doesn't delve insanely deep into the psyche of the subjects, but that didn't matter to me because the film's playful approach and stylistic flourishes make this a truly singular documentary experience. One that charmed, excited, and fascinated me to no end. National Geographic picked this one up, so I'm excited for everyone to see it for themselves and be just as charmed as I was by it. Girl Picture is a warm, loving little movie that I fell completely in love with from the moment it started. For me, it's one of those festival films that sneaks up on you in unexpected ways, wrapping you up in a simple and lovely little character-driven tale. It's a film that is less concerned with telling you some grand narrative and is more interested in just providing a snapshot of young adult life. The film especially captures that awkward transitional period as one moves into adulthood with a level of empathy and authenticity that is pretty hard to come by today. Director Ali Hapsalo clearly cares so much for her characters here, and that love bounces off the screen, because every moment is filled to the brim with passion and care, from the way she shoots her characters to the dreamy soundtrack. All of it is in service of letting us, the viewer, understand these characters on a deeper level without ever having to spell anything out. I just found myself really caring for the three women at the center of this film. I became so enraptured in their journey of self-discovery and desire for liberation. Hell, I could have watched another couple hours of this thing. It left me with the biggest smile on my face, and I'm already excited to watch it again. Cooper Raif's sophomore feature, Cha Cha Real Smooth, was probably the biggest hit of the fest, and it's not hard to see why it was, because it's such a thoughtful, sincere, and big-hearted film that anyone can relate to. Sure, it's a film about a young man post-grad who begins bar mitzvah hosting, which isn't the most relatable thing out there, but deep down, the emotions on display are incredibly universal, because the film looks at someone whose path ahead in life is uncertain, and that uncertainty is terrifying. So, when he strikes up a friendship with an older woman and her autistic daughter, he uses them as an easy out to not confront his future. Much like Cooper's previous film, Shithouse, Cha Cha Real Smooth completely avoids the trappings of the many disingenuous films about 20-somethings, for a movie that will shock you with just how emotionally honest and vulnerable it really is. Everything is so natural and sincere, and there's not a single moment that feels false. It will make you laugh, cry, and ruminate on your own life experiences. It's a film so utterly unpretentious and warm in every way, and we all need films like that every now and again. I'm just happy to see Cooper getting the love he so rightfully deserves with this film, and I'm hoping that Apple pushes this one really hard so people everywhere can get the chance to see it. After Yang was far and away my favorite of the fest. Like, the distance between this and everything else is huge because it's just that good. But I do want to keep my thoughts brief here, as I want to make a video solely focused on this film. I'll just say though, After Yang hit me hard with its meditation on grief and the delicacy of memory. Kogonada's use of a lo-fi science fiction landscape to convey his themes are absolutely brilliant here, and every inch of this world is so beautifully well realized and polished. Just like Columbus, Kogonada has found a way to enter directly into my soul and destroy me deep to the core. I haven't had this visceral of an emotional reaction to a film in a long time. I have so many more thoughts on this, but I'm going to save it for a video later down the road. Just know though, this is a special film. Well, there you have it. That's 10 films from this year's Sundance I think you should put on your radar. This year's edition was really solid and offered an incredibly diverse lineup of films. I'm really glad I was able to check out so much great stuff and discover fresh and exciting filmmaking voices. For a complete list of all 32 films I saw, you can check the description below, but that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you next time.